Are we coming in clearly?
You've been singing a lot today, man.
I know,
I'm in a good mood.
Songbird, man.
I'm in a good mood. I'm back home.
Alright, I'm coming.
Are we on all of them?
Yeah, you're
We're
good.
good now.
You're good.
I like it. I like
Don't
that.
fall. Please just squeeze in.
Don't fall
It's
back.
gonna be funny if my wife sees one of her cheers break live.
I know. Oh, man. So, what's going on, everybody?
What's up, John?
How's Facebook world today? So I've been like super under the weather. Gabe is back from Hawaii. How's your trip, bro?
It was real good. It
Yeah?
was really good. Did a little bit of business, and I can't complain.
Yeah. What did you do out there?
So we were looking at a facility to do some audio video stuff on there.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's awesome.
So I've been.
Nice write-off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Golly. Next time you go on one of those, if you need, some kind of analyst or something to come with you.
Absolutely. I was telling John the opportunity might come out where we go to London for this company.
Just
I'd
know that.
rather go to Hawaii. I used to live in England.
Oh no, yeah, it's okay. It's cool.
So
This is
as
the time of year to go.
y'all see our new environment. One, Gabe came back, dude, and he brought me a gift. Did you see what he brought me?
Yeah.
Brought me a little solid steak. We travel so much doing all this filming, and he brought me a gift, and thank you. I love you for it, bro.
You know it, bro.
But I've been so sick all week, and I just had a shitty week. It's been just shitty. I know I've been sick. I haven't been giving my clients attention. So I called Chris, and I just kind of complained, which I don't like doing.
Never do that.
I'm never a complainer, but I just had a shitty week. It's what I just.
We all have our moments.
We
Absolutely.
do. So Chris is like, hey, let's not do the podcast. I'm missing our business meeting tomorrow. So he's like, just come over. Just come over and we'll figure it out. So I show up, and that's why we're in this beautiful environment. And I'm so
Absolutely.
happy and thankful for that. But that leads me to what we're going to talk about on this podcast. And I guess what I want to say is, what do you guys do when you're having a shitty week? To give some tips, what do you pull out? How do you refuel yourself? Is what the podcast topic's on today. Refueling yourself. That's the topic. Go, Chris.
Well, I mean, we're doing one thing right now. I mean, you get around people that motivate you, inspire you, hold you accountable. I've also found though that one of the best ways to pick yourself up is to pick somebody else up.
Oh, absolutely.
When you're feeling, like you've been feeling, you go out of your way to go find somebody that you can encourage, tell them how they've inspired you, meant to you, and man, it's amazing how quickly that can turn a day around.
Dude, yeah. So when you say that, man, I didn't even tell you this. Right before I got here, I got a text message from another member in a chapter in Austin that I haven't had one text message from, ever. She sent me a text message, and she was like, I love what you're doing. You're so inspirational. It was a lot longer than this, and I was just like, damn. I sent her back, and I was like, I don't think you realized how much that text message meant, or I needed that right now in my life. So I think times that even while we're going through down, we forget other people are watching, and that one freaking text message could pick somebody up and do something different. And now I'm so thankful for that text message and you guys, because even me getting over here this morning, my attitude was still in a salty ass place, and you were picking me up.
Well, I did a video post about this very thing a while back on Instagram about just saying you never know. We've all had somebody like your story right now where someone's called us or texted us out of the blue, and it's just changed our week or our day or our month.
Absolutely.
Because it's a day that it's, I don't know, I think the good Lord just knows when we need to hear it, and he sends angels to us, and whether that's in the form of a friend or just someone you hadn't talked to in a long time, or just a random, hey, I love what you're doing, or a nice comment on something you've done on social media. When it hits you in one of those days, it's like, wow. And so my whole point on that video I posted was, it takes you 20-30 seconds.
That's it.
To do that to somebody,
That's
just
it.
take a second, send somebody a text, leave them a voicemail. Me and my buddies, we used to call and leave long voicemail prayers for each other.
That's
Just lifting them
cool,
up,
man.
just saying, Father, bless them today. They mean so much to me. They've impacted my life. And you get one of those, you get a message like that,
I don't care what kind of day you're having.
I know, man. You got
Yeah.
you.
And it really didn't cost you anything to do it. You know what I'm saying? You invest in people, and it costs you nothing but a minute, 30 seconds.
Yep.
Because you're shooting from the heart. You don't plan it. You just call.
Yep. A blessing is not a blessing until you bless somebody else, man.
Gabe,
That's it.
how do you go through it, man? You're traveling so much lately, and you're still starting your other company. And I know there's days you're like, dude, I don't even want to get on this plane. We've had this talk.
Yeah,
You're like, man,
absolutely.
I don't want to, but I know you're doing it for your family, your wife, your kids.
Absolutely.
What's something that goes through your head that makes you want to do it?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head, man. Family, right? I want to be able to support my family, and we all know that bills don't stop, right? So I can't just stop and just do what I need to do. I need to do what I need to do to provide for my family. So that's the main thing, man. But also enjoying what you do sometimes is a key factor, right? Because we get in those shitty moments where, oh man, this is a shitty week, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But then you reflect on, is it really work what I'm working? Because I've always said, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, right? So loving what you're doing, honestly, what I'm doing right now, starting this company, but also what I'm doing right now with my with the company I'm working for now, supporting the war fighters and all those people out there, making sure they have their technology, making sure they have their communication at their time of need, is something that fuels me too. Like, I remind myself that's what I'm doing this for, right? So yeah, just perspective too, man. That's just...
It's important to note, though. I mean, John, I know if I know anybody that loves what they do, John loves what he does.
Absolutely.
But even when you love what you do, you're gonna have those days, where you're just.
Well,
Man,
what happens? What I felt this week too is you saying that I'm so like I try to be the most positive person because I know every time I am it comes back. It's like today, but your clients feel it, dude. And I think that's been the hardest part of my week is that my clients have felt. I know they have that I haven't gave them the attention that they needed. I barely had enough attention to give me, and I know we're doing this podcast, but I needed to just get it off my chest, and this is how I got it off my chest. But it's hard to be motivated, and just being around y'all two today, I'm like, man, I need to do this for my clients. I want to get back in the swing of things. Damn, this week sucked. But yeah, it's
when you've been sick, man. I mean, when your body's drained and it's fighting, I mean, it's hard to be that upbeat, happy guy when you're miserable.
As you get older and you realize, well, one, I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. You're like, damn, now I'm sick. I take a little bit more time to recover.
Yep.
And go through those slower process. You're like, all right, I got to get back. I got to take the
Each year that goes by, you take longer to recover.
Is that the key? You gotta just be prepared for the years.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of business owners, man, go through this exact thing, that they have employees that they still have to be motivated for and be like, man, I'm showing up. I'm still going to push this limit. I'm still going to do those. And I think we forget how important those little things are for your bosses or your employees to keep them motivated, to keep them pumped up, to keep them inspired. That's the hardest thing for me. I wasn't inspired all week until today.
Yeah. I think it's important, though, for the more leadership you are given and the more people are looking to you for leadership and inspiration, I think it's important to be raw and real. They need to know that you're not always on, because that's a bar that's impossible to hit for anybody. And I see public figures, and they, in some cases, they have this persona that they're always on.
Yeah.
Like I can think of a mega church pastor that's always on. But that ain't true, man. I mean, nobody's always on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's something that I think the human nature is drawn to people that can say, look, I haven't had a good week, and I'm just telling you guys, I'm a real human being. That happens.
Absolutely.
And I need you all. It's your turn to, pour into me a little bit and help me out.
Absolutely. That's what friends do, though, right?
Yeah.
And it goes back, if you watch some of our last podcasts, I think we talk about this maybe every podcast, but the people that you're around.
Oh.
It's
like
just
the common denominator, right?
It's just the common thing every time, being an employee or a business owner or a person, wife, husband, kid, grandkids, who you're around. If you're not around people that ain't picking you up, literally drop them off.
Yeah.
I love that saying on that one that if you find one asshole, that person's the asshole. But if you run into 3 people in a day that's an asshole, you're probably the asshole. Is that how you want it?
Yeah, no. But,
So,
yeah.
I loved it. Yeah,
I agree with
I
that.
think it's just trying to find something that's motivating and inspiring, and the people around you need to help you pick you up. At least they have for me this week.
Well, but a lot of people that are very intrinsically motivated, highly motivated people that are success driven, and they listen to the audiobooks, they read the stuff, they follow the podcast, they do all those things, because I feel like I'm one of those people that I try to stay in that zone, and you can be a little hard on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can set the bar so high for yourself that you don't allow yourself an opportunity to rest and recover and cut yourself some slack. And
So what are some other things that you might do? So for instance, like today I knew that I was in a slump. My health isn't good this week. So I brought fruit over for breakfast. And I know that's so like cliche, but what you eat is what you are. And you know, I know feeling bad, going to eat McDonald's breakfast is not a good move for me.
You didn't bring donuts.
I didn't bring donuts, man. I don't usually bring donuts.
Because I would have eaten the donuts.
I know.
Even though I didn't want the donuts, I would have eaten them.
But it wouldn't have put you in the right frame of mind, and I think
sugar
people
crash.
forget about that. Yeah. I mean, sugar's important to me. It's a big...
Yeah. Oh, no, it is.
So I brought you have it too, so you're type 1 diabetic too.
Type 1 diabetic, shocker, man. So
Yeah.
It was a shocker. And it's funny you bring that up, that something that bad has to happen to me in order for me to invoke change, right? But I think as humans we do that too, right?
Yeah.
Something drastically has to happen for us to want to incorporate a major change. And unfortunately, it was me being diagnosed with that type 1 diabetic to go from 320 now to 270, which is,
Awesome.
for me, is dope, right?
Yeah, no, even for me, the motivation of watching you already lose this much weight has been cool.
Dude, it's crazy, but no, man, it's a shocker, you know? So
I mean, what it stimulates from that first thing in the morning to what you put in your body controls. So us being diabetic, like whatever we eat in the morning sets our tone for the whole day.
you're absolutely right.
So what happens is not only have I been eating bad, but I haven't been able to do my. I didn't run today. I haven't, dude. I could barely walk.
Okay.
I barely carry the equipment over here to film this
breathe,
outside.
man.
I know. So then you
I had to
don't.
ask.
Then you don't regulate your sugar.
Yeah,
You know, and then you don't set your goals, and then you don't. I mean, you see where I'm going.
Yeah.
So then, when y'all are writing me in like my accountability, have you set your goals for the day?
Yeah.
I haven't done anything. I barely even got out of bed at 4 a.m. Much less did everything else I wanted to. So it just stimulates from that one little thing in the morning. It's because I feel bad, and that's my freaking excuse. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sick. I shouldn't do that. And really, even if I'm sick, I should have went and walked my 2 miles. I should still be eating healthy. I'm giving myself excuses, and there's no excuses to be.
But there's one thing you did do that I think people don't always do, and that is, I said, hey, what's up, in a text, and you were honest. I mean, you could have sat there all day in your misery and just had you could have had a miserable day. At some point, you know, this morning when I called you when I got off my phone call because I got your text. You weren't in a good place this morning. I called you. You said, you know what? Let's do XYZ. You took action to change your day, and I think that's where.
I think you say that, and I think I cheated on you a little bit because I knew in my heart if I told you that
okay.
you would be like. You'd give it back to me,
but that's
even
why
though,
you
even
surround
though,
yourself
even
with people
though.
that'll do
But
that.
that's
But you
did
still
that.
took
Yeah.
the action.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
did that because you know how he is, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
by
I would have done
being
the same thing to
No,
me.
I would have, but
So-
I fed off of that. I was like, you know, I kind of did the self-pity kind of move. I told you my truth, and so honestly, the text literally read like, I went into a bitch rant to Chris about how miserable my day is, and Chris was like, come over, let's do something.
Yeah.
And it's just that one thing, and I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do that, you know. And I got to get that off my chest, and I think a lot of times people take it out on social media instead of calling a friend
Right.
or a true person, because sometimes even telling your wife isn't, or your significant other doesn't do the job. Maybe my wife's sick too right now, so she's not in the most positive mind frame. So when I tell her something, she's like, no, you know, she's negative too. So telling a negative person something negative, they feed off of negativity instead of telling a positive person negativity. So I guess it's knowing who's around you or who's in your circle that I can bitch to and helps pick
you
me
need
up.
that yang to your yang, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, that's where the community man comes in.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because I came out of a season where I was the loner to a certain extent. You know, I had a lot of people that I associated with at work, and it would seem from the outside like I had a large community, but I'd cut myself off to people.
You do that.
Yeah, when you have something going on in your life and you just go into survival mode, you just kind of isolate yourself, and
Right.
it's crazy because it's the exact opposite of what you really need.
Man.
But it's fight or
Yeah.
flight, right? And
Yeah.
it's you don't know how to handle something, so you isolate. When the reality is, there are people out there that,
Yeah.
man, that, you know, I guarantee, because I know both of you guys, that when you get an opportunity to bring joy to somebody who's having a bad day, there's
And
nothing. You'd rather do that almost than close a deal,
it's
or to, you know what I mean?
it's
It's
better
Absolutely.
than
it's
money.
life-giving.
Yeah.
It's better than money.
Because it gives you purpose.
It
Yeah.
does.
Right?
Yep.
And everybody has those down moments. Everybody has the chance to be the uplifter, and sometimes you need to be the one that's uplifted.
Yep.
And so I just don't, you know, there's no shame in it. What I commend you today and is just taking action. You know, whether you want to call it what you want, you can be hard on yourself and saying you did a little bitch rant, but the point is that you reached out in a certain way because you knew you had people around you
Yep.
that are not going to let you sit there and simmer in negativity. And that's huge, man.
Yeah.
That is huge to your progress, to your success, to your ability to be a husband, a father, a friend. I mean, you can't just sit there and sulk. You know, you may have every right to.
Yeah.
You may have a real legitimate situation going on, but it doesn't mean you got to stay there.
No, you hit it on the head. Wearing your heart on your sleeve is a lot. It's hard for us men sometimes because we got to be a badass, or I got to be this
Egos.
tough. Ego sucks, man.
Pride, you know.
I think Gary
I
Vee
can't.
hits it so
Yeah.
much. He says self-awareness.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
learning as I grow in my companies and who I'm trying to become as a man, and is self-aware. Like,
Yeah.
just be like, this is who I am today. Either you can take it or you can't.
Yeah.
I can either help you or I can't. I can either grow with you or I can't.
Yeah.
And so being more self-aware is so important. And I think a lot of times as a boss or a business owner, I don't know what my employees are going through. I don't know what I'm going through sometimes. So communication is so
Yeah.
key in being able to throw that out there.
No, absolutely. I think also having the ability to listen is huge for me, right? Because I used to suck at it. I mean, I'm still working on it with my with my wife. Exactly.
What's that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I found that when I am in those down moments, my wife being in HR, she knows how to do that very well. She's an active listener. So when I'm in my bitch mode and I'm complaining about work and I'm complaining about why things didn't go my way, why, right? She just sits there and she doesn't say anything. She listens it. She processes it. She's like, okay. And she said the same thing Gary Vee said, which was trippy. She's like, okay, and so what now?
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it? Right? But she just having that person to listen to you and let it all out instead of that you're saying something and they're like, well, no, okay, but let me finish. I need to get it all out. But yeah. So no, that's awesome. So I love her for that, by the way.
That's
Yeah.
a plug to you.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
No, I'm not in the doghouse trying to get bonus,
Yeah.
trying to
You
get
just got
brownie
back.
points. Yeah.
I think that's important, though. What you just mentioned could be a whole nother topic itself,
Oh, absolutely.
from an employer to your employee standpoint of actively trying to be aware.
let's take that back. Not business, human to not being human.
Okay.
So let's just say there, not even
Yeah.
employee to employee. Whether you're, because I say not human, and what I mean is not human when you're when you're in your own mind frame, and it's you against the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're saying be more aware versus the human.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you live around people and work with people day in and day out, and you know who they really are, and maybe their production's not where it's been for a few weeks, or maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe their attitude, or maybe they smarted off and said something that's out of character. The reality is, if it's out of character, something's going on.
Yep.
Right? There's something there, and you know, we live in such a busy world. You know, that I think if we can slow down and see people for people, not as a means to an end for our business.
Yeah.
You know, when you see somebody that works with you or for you or whatever, and you sit down with them and you sincerely listen, and ask, hey, what's going on, man? That's not like you. You haven't been yourself. What's going on? You know, I care about you as a person. Tell me what's going on if you can. That is, it's that emotional bank account, right?
Yeah.
You just made a huge deposit into that bank account, and so there's going to be a day where you're going to piss off your employee or that relationship, but you've made a deposit, right? And if you put more deposits into that bank account than you withdraw, then you're creating a situation where that relationship's going to be long-standing.
Absolutely.
And from an employee-employer relationship, you're setting up someone who's going to go home and potentially go, wow, they really saw me. Like, they cared about my situation, my problem, and that creates loyalty. People don't understand the cost of turnover, man. The cost of turnover is hard to quantify, but it's 2 to 3 times a person's annual salary.
We just went through it in our
I know that's you didn't know about this. He has
but you got somebody forecasting to make you $9 to $12 million a year, and they're gone. What do? Panic starts to set in. Not only that, if you're not capable of handling it, panic spread. It's cancer, man. It spreads throughout your organization.
And once you do find somebody to come back in, what does it cost to onboard them, to train them, to get them up to that level, to get them to manage those relationships?
Like 10 times more or something like that?
It's
Ridiculous.
crazy.
It's ridiculous amount of money.
So we go back to here's a question that I get every day. You guys get it too. How's your day?
That's
you know where I'm going with that question.
But that simple question can turn your day around.
It can, if they really mean it. So instead of walking by somebody, how's your day going? Actually sit down and be like, they really know, how's your day going, man? Like, truly, just let me know. Like, because a lot of times, man, it'd be nice just to rant a little bit and be like, yo, my day freaking sucks.
It
just blows.
I tell you.
It's the worst day I've had in months.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I was going with those
texts.
I know. We decided to do it outside just to change, and maybe because of my germs will blow away from these guys.
You're just going to get allergy stuff, man.
Yeah. I get sick, I know who I got.
But yeah, that question of how's your day, it could really change somebody's whole demeanor in life.
I think the thing is, though, people aren't probably going to get their, like you said, you gotta pose it in a different way.
Yeah, it can't be that.
Because people are in a hurry. You're trying to go about your day. You're trying to get things done, and someone says, "How's your day?" "Oh, it's fine." "No, really." "No, that's great, man. Things are going good." I think maybe there's a way to pose a question that says, "Hey, man, tell me about a win and a loss you've had in the last couple of days. What's going on?"
There you go. I like that.
Give me something good, and give me something I can. For me, what I like to ask is, "Hey, how can I pray for you?" Tell me something I can pray for you. I've never had somebody tell me no.
You do that a lot, and I've been with you in several occasions, not just more than one. I could probably more than 2 handfuls that we have done that you have stopped in an instant and prayed for somebody, and it's changed their whole day. It's changed my whole day watching it happen.
It's sad it doesn't happen more often.
Man,
it really does interrupt something, and it's because it's so outside of the norm.
It is.
And I don't even. I've prayed for people regardless of what they believe. It's just a genuine gesture.
Absolutely.
To let someone know that, I'm not just saying I care about how your day's going. I'm saying I'm going to try to do something about it with you right now, and put it in the hands of our Creator, and just encourage you through those words.
Yep.
And
it's probably been one of my favorite qualities about you.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you don't have to know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people won't open up, right? They won't open up. "Oh, I'm about to lose my house," or I'm going through a divorce. They're not going to open up. But just the fact that you did that for them,
changed.
It's just may even make their faith a little stronger. But hope.
It's made mine.
Yeah. The hope that things will be better.
Yeah.
They just got to get there, and that's just a catapult of you doing that for them. So
the guys I work with, in my firm specifically, Michael Rubin, our founder, demonstrated that for me and inspired me to do that more often. And the simple question that we ask people, is what's your greatest need? What's your greatest need right now that I can pray for you? And they're usually like, okay, yeah, they'll tell you, and then they think you're going to walk away. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it real quick.
Yeah.
And
it really catches you off guard, but it's such a good thing.
At the first few times you do that for somebody, it's a little unnerving. You don't know how they're going to respond. But I think people are, in general, are hungry for sincerity, man. You know, they're hungry for sincere people, and I can tell you from someone who's been around faith and church and dogma and all that stuff all my life that when someone says I'll be praying for you, man, if you think differently than me, then sure, post a comment. But I'd be willing to bet most of us go, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's a nice thing that you said that.
Yeah.
But how many times, if you are a believer or someone who says you're going to pray, how many times do you actually go home and do it?
I haven't met anybody that's openly admitted it until I met you. That's been like, you know what, I'll pray for you. I've got a text message and said I prayed for you. That's came back and be like, hey, I did pray for you.
Yeah.
You know, knowing that it's happened right then and there.
I'm admitting there's times I've said I'll pray for you and I didn't.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's, to me, that's why I
But then-
say, let's just do it. Let's do it now.
Yep.
You know what?
What's the difference in
I'll call
tonight?
you back and leave you a
Well,
message.
I guess that's
praying
just
for
with
you.
anything else. What's the difference of doing something right now versus waiting? Oh, I'll get on it. Really, what you're saying is you're making an excuse of why you can't do something right now.
No,
You
absolutely.
make sure both those cameras are still.
Yeah.
For everybody going live, we're mobilely set up, so we have to double check our camera set up.
Mine's not. You're hot.
I'd stop it and hit it again real quick. And content. So everybody that's out there, it's so important to document. I'm not trying to sell nothing. I'm doing this for my own needs. You know, everybody's like, well, write a journal. You know, you can go check it in 10 years. I want to go watch my videos and see who I was here versus there, who I had around me here versus who I had around me there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if my beliefs and alignments aren't engaged, I know where I went wrong, all because what I documented.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important of who you're around. Where I was 2 years ago versus who I'm around now, it's changed my mindset, and it's changed what I believe in, what my goals are, where I'm trying to become as a father, a person, a human, and a business owner. And it's all because of who I got around.
Oh, no question.
No, absolutely.
No, that's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, and being able
That's
to
a mic drop statement. I mean, there's really not a whole lot more you can say than just get around the right people.
Yeah.
Period.
You have to.
I agree. And in an instance,
It seems to come up in every topic,
Every
no matter what
topic.
we're
Yeah.
talking
No.
because it's so applicable to all. You know, today we're talking about when you're down, or we've talked about, you know, how do you grow to the next level, or all the different things we've talked about. It always seems to circle back to who we're around,
Your group.
who you spend time with,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
I used to thought it was so cliche, the 5 people who you hang around. My wife preached this to me day in and day out. She'd be like, you're around those people, you're going to be going to those bars, or you're going to be going to those parties,
Yeah.
and they're not doing good things.
Well, you adopt people's belief sets. You adopt their goals. You adopt their income. You adopt all of that. Your expectations for life. The way you treat your family. All that stuff just rubs off, man.
And then also, if they're miserable, they're going to want you to be miserable, right? What do they say? Misery loves company.
Oh, man, that's so true.
So if you are around a negative person, you find yourself being negative. And man, I've never complained about being at Walmart
As
today.
a leader in the faith organization with young people in FCA and stuff like that, have you ever seen or done the exercise where you have someone get down on the ground and someone stand up in a chair and you say, all right, pull them off the chair, right? And then it's pretty easy to pull someone down. You see where I'm going? Then you ask someone, pull them up onto the chair.
Wow.
It's a whole lot easier to pull somebody that's up down than it is to pull someone that's down up.
No, man, I like that.
Right?
We should do
it's
that
a
one
powerful
sometime.
visual.
Hey,
No, yeah.
thank
we did
you
that,
for
at,
that
at a Disciple Now when I was a little kid, yeah.
Thank
And you
you.
never
Yeah.
forgot it, huh?
No,
Oh.
dude, because it sticks with you. Because the whole
If you
point they were
think
trying to
about
make
that.
is be careful who you hang out with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is that thing. It's like the whole excuse of, well, Jesus hung out with sinners. Yes, he did, but he didn't do what they did,
No,
right? And
exactly.
he was prayed up. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? He had been in the presence of the Father.
Yep.
So he was full. But we get this excuse like we're going to go out and I'm supposed to be hanging out with people that yes, but not to be your inner circle,
Right.
right? You're not. You can't. You have the ability to go out and inspire people, but you need to be around inspirational people as your inner circle.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
you've got to guard that 5
Yeah.
people. That 5 people better be the right people because it's going to determine who you are.
So I'm gonna give you another example, right? So I got over here.
Just the topic change.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm over it. Nobody can stop me from nothing. I own all these cameras, so we're gonna film whatever we want.
All but one.
But all but one. Carter. I do got these guys documenting like crazy. Like everywhere we go now, Gabe's like, "Dang it, I forgot my camera."
Yeah, absolutely.
And this little bitty mic right here.
Yeah, that's his little bit of No, so but here's the difference, right? So I come over to the house earlier, and I show up, and instead of you talking about negativity or downing, you're like, John, I got this HVAC company. We're listing for $1.something million. But that's the conversations we're having now. We're not talking about, damn, I owe this dude $500. How am I going to afford to pay it?
Yeah.
Instead, you're excited because we're listing a new company for sale for $1 million. You know, getting around those conversations have changed my whole life because now I'm thinking different.
Yep.
How can I buy this company instead of how can I buy this car to show off to the people that I know? Because I used to be the guy that I had to buy a big truck with big ass rims on it and a new boat, and I got dirt bikes. I just don't need that anymore. Now I want to buy things to help
Isn't
people.
that crazy? That's
Exactly.
so crazy you said that because I talk to my mother every morning. That's just part of my day. Every
that's
morning
so
I talk
sweet
to
of
my
you.
mother. I love my mom. My mom is one of the reasons I'm who I am today. Lots of prayer went into that
Nice.
because I wasn't. I was. Anyway, that's another topic.
Okay.
But
We'll
one
have
of the things
topics
we
on
talked about this morning, I actually said almost identical to what you said. I said, Ma, I used to. I think it's maybe a natural progression for a lot of people, but I think people still get stuck in. They want to do well financially because they want to improve their stuff.
Yep.
Right. That's a natural human thing. Like at some point, I'd like a bigger place.
Yeah.
I mean, but.
But that don't change who you are.
No, but what you said is what has changed is now the desire to be successful circles around the idea that as I gain financial blessing or whatever you want to call it, I can take that and leverage that to increase that even further to create opportunities for my family and to create freedom. It's not
And the people
stuff.
around you.
Right. And it shifts from I want stuff to I want to make money my slave,
Yeah.
not be a slave to my money.
Which everybody's slave.
You know,
I don't say everybody.
I don't want to be the borrower. I
Yeah.
want to be the lender.
Yeah.
You know.
But you got to borrow to lend, right? At some point. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
But what is that? You know, I think a lot of people think that you have to borrow from the bank or you have to know this person to give you $1 million. We're finding ways to buy and sell companies or learning different tactics to do these things without borrowing. Sweat equity, hard work, over and over and over, and surrounding ourselves with the right people. So many opportunities have come in our lap, all three of our lap lately, just because we've been putting ourselves out there to
You
different
get in
people.
traffic, man. You
No.
get in the right traffic. That's it.
absolutely.
So
No, absolutely.
And I think the thing I'm learning is that if there's a genuine want to, there's a way.
yeah.
Period.
Absolutely. I'll agree.
You know.
Well,
And I'm just gonna right here because you gave it to us on a podcast. I'm
Yeah.
gonna thank you for the journal.
Okay.
Because I even reached out on social media and said, "Hey guys, I suck at setting goals. You know, like I need some help. Tell me how to do this goal thing. I've never been able to stay on point with it. So now I don't know how long it's been since we've had these things. Let's just call it 20 days. I don't know. So 20 days in a row, I've written the same 6 goals down in the morning and then again at night. That's all I think about. Like those goals have become what I think about, and now they even after 20 days, I'm already starting to believe they're. At first they were like, man, these are too big, and now I'm thinking, no, these are 18 months away.
so these journals that we got, he ordered them from 10X, but we, me and Chris, you've been gone.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have them printed,
Yeah.
just so we have them and we can disperse
Well, we're gonna
them.
put a spin on it, you know.
Yeah. Nothing like 10. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Gonna, but I mean, I'm not talking about selling or anything like that. But so we can write them down. I like the info structure of how it is.
Absolutely.
But we wanted some more faith-based content in there.
Quote of the day, scripture of the day.
absolutely.
That wasn't so. I mean, I'm not taking anybody's idea, but that's just what we were talking about.
Yeah, I think the point for me is this: when you write your goals down twice a day, it starts to change you at a DNA level.
There's a
almost.
thing that it's so funny that you said it. I think one of my friends posted it, but he basically was like, you know, a dream without goals will never happen, right? So you have to have your dream, and then you have to have a plan, the goals, and then something like that, or a dream without goals is a wish or something like that. But it just plays onto it. You have to continuously keep chasing it, man.
Well,
And somebody to remind you that they're doing it.
There you go. I was about to say. Then you got to be around the right people to hold you
If you had given
accountable.
me that book and nobody ever checked back with me, it'd probably be sitting there still empty.
So we go back to the same topic. And no matter what, surround yourself with the right freaking people.
Right.
Accountability.
man.
all of it.
Accountability.
I think
All
we
of
could
that
keep going, guys. I love where this one was. I love that it was out in the opening.
Yeah.
Even if you're having a bad day, put yourself around the right people. They will help you out. That's my tip for the day. Chris, tip for the day.
Man, I mean, I don't know. Let's just rewind. There's just a lot of stuff that
There's
we've
a
covered
lot,
today.
yeah.
I think when it comes, back to the topic of what do you do when you're not having a good day, go find a resource. I mean, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a friend, whether it's something. But I think my tip is take action. A lack of action is not going to change your situation. Period. It never
Right.
will. And sometimes, and we're human beings, man, there is a human nature, and whether you admit it or not, there's sometimes you just want to be pissed off.
Yep.
There's sometimes you just want to be miserable. And and that sounds silly, right?
Yeah.
Who wants to be miserable? There's just times where you're just like, I don't want anybody to cheer me up.
We're human.
But I think if you have the right people around you, even a comment in a text or something like that, even if it seems like you're not really trying to get cheered up, you're just wanting to let somebody know you're pissed off. If you have the right people around you,
Yeah.
they're not going to let you
They'll
sit
pick
there.
you up.
Yep.
They won't. Gabe, you're gonna
Man.
love this closing. Be ready.
Okay.
Huh?
I had to give him a tip. He's gonna love this closing.
Yeah, okay. I would say don't be complacent at where you're at. So kind of like take action, right? Because the only enemy of progress is complacency. So if you stay in that miserable state, you have to do something about it. And I charge people right now. I'm challenging you. Send out a text to somebody that's close to you, that's in your circle, and just ask them how their day was, and be honest about it. And then tell them how your day's going. Don't just reciprocate. Hey, how's your day going? Mine's going awesome. I was thinking about you today. So just that's what I challenge them to do today. Whoever's listening and watching today.
Yeah,
So
reach out.
Well,
yeah, reach out. Yeah.
Usually we end a certain way. I'm gonna end this way. Chris, let's just say a prayer for them, bro. Maybe I need it. I mean, we don't
for
put
our listeners?
Yeah, we don't have to put that on anybody,
Oh, bro,
nobody's
you fire
face.
me
But
up right now.
let's just say one for them and
Yeah.
end it that way.
Let's do it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna rock the ending right here by putting it in the hands of the one that can actually change us.
Amen, brother.
So,
For sure.
Heavenly Father, I just lift up these two men right here next to me. The inspiration they've been to me. The fact that we, iron sharpening iron, as your word says, but as John said, we don't know who's listening, if they're listening now or in the future. But I just pray that you would give wisdom to those that are struggling with making decisions, that you would give the right people to be put into their lives at the right moment, that messages, voicemails, text messages, emails would be sent, that people right now that listen to this will take action and send something they know they need to say to somebody that's done something for them, pulled them up, picked them up, that they would be inspired right now in Jesus' name to send that message, not to delay. You never know what situation someone is, Lord, and we are your body. We are your hands and your feet. And I pray, Father, that you would inspire people today through this podcast and through this prayer to do that very thing, to be your hands and your feet and your voice to anyone that needs it. You work through us here on the ground. We are the boots on the ground for you. And so regardless of what anyone believes, Lord, we're just grateful that you created us with a purpose, that you created us in your image, and that we have the ability